Yo, what's good, everyone? Crustlord here with Carlos
Hey.
here with a match between me and then Zone, yes, Zone of the Chicago Bulus. I had trouble because he's coaching with Chucast, but anyway, Zone's playing. And yeah, really scary team on his end. Lots of offensive mons. Uh, and then me, I kind of had like a mix offensive defensive core. Anyway, let's go right into the match. Start out with Flygon because I wanted that U-turn. I knew he had Glaciate, but it didn't really kill me. And then I could U-turn and then go into this 50-50 situation with Weavile. Now I'm going to pause it here. Kind of, Carlos probably isn't going to talk too much because it's my game. Anyway, so into the Weavile 50-50. A lot of you know this well. Do I pursue or do I knock off? Um, so here's what kind of led me to pick the move I did. So I was like, okay, if he stays in, he's a fire type, he's gonna kill me. If I don't pursue only does 50% if he doesn't switch out. Um, but then again, I saw one Pokemon on his team. I saw Lucario. Now Lucario, he has his Justified, gets hit by a Dark type, attack raises. I'm like, you know what? He's gonna switch on Lucario, isn't he? Pursuit and got him. Indeed, switched into Lucario to try to get that boost. Um, Switched into Flygon here to kind of scare it out because Earthquake kills Lucario. Played it safe, didn't want to U-turn, just in case. But it also outspeeds, and I didn't want to take any more damage I needed. So, and I knew that Amoonguss would have a fine 1v1 against it. So just clear Smog to play it safe, not really worrying about over predicting. Spore the Lucario here because I feel like it's one of the bigger threats. Second biggest, I would say. Maybe third, I don't know. There's a lot of big threats. Went straight into Flygon. Now, turn 8, when I switch into Flygon, I don't understand why he didn't switch out. Because, like, yeah, asleep Pokemon are kind of useless, but they also serve a purpose as to you can't you can't really sleep any other Pokemon because of sleep cause, right? So it's just kind of eh. He probably should have switched out into something else. Tailgloat here, Dragon Tail that thing out of there. I knew it was coming. So now since Lucario's gone, Will-O-Wisp isn't gonna matter too much. Uh, Going to Marowak, and then he does a really good play with Trick here. Tricking away my thick club. Now I can't do too much damage. Rip. So just decided to Stealth Rock because that's really the only thing it can do now. Shadow Ball and do as much damage as I can. And then switch out to Moongus to kind of save it for fodder later, but actually here kind of, because he would have used Ice Beam, and I know I would have taken at least one, so kind of scout out the Ice Beam there. He didn't have it, at least I presume he didn't have it. Don't really care about the burn much. Uh, Burn's just kind of whatever, doesn't really matter. Continue to Giga Drain. And then he continues to recover, and I'm like, you know what, screw this, Spore, I don't want to deal with this. Technically a misplay, but not really. I also kind of wanted him to switch so I could Spore something else, because Sableye is not too big of an issue, but I needed to keep a Moongus in, and I didn't want to deal with his stall, so just Spore that thing. 1v1 Amoonguss versus Amoonguss versus Superior. I had this all day. Got the clear Smog. I can recover. I can do whatever. Can't touch me really. HP Ice only does like less than 25 or whatever. That's like 20. Here I do kind of make a little bit of misplay though. I do Synthesis, that's fine. But this next turn, instead of getting up to full, I just go for a clear Smog. This is questionable because Tyrantrum's head smash does 80% ish. So at the level I was at, I was going to die to a head smash, so I probably should have saved it, Basically, had to sack something. Marowak is the most useless Pokemon on my team. And then here I made an interesting play. Instead of ice
Big
sharding,
one in the match.
yeah, definitely the most pivotal move of the match. Um, so I kind of had a couple thoughts in my mind. First of all, if he's scarfed, he outspeeds me, of course. If he's not scarfed, Ice Shard does not kill. Does like 50. So this is another 50-50, the Weavile 50-50s. um, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go for the Icicle Crash to gain intel. That was really my main thing because, and also my other main deciding factor is that Raikou, he's the only Mon, although it's technically a misplay, because Carlos can explain that later to give him some screen time. I calced in Raikou just flat out Okos with HP Ice. So it's like, okay, so this extra 50% doesn't really matter, plus I gain intel. So you know what, just screw it. Goes for the head smash, kills me. That's kind of fine, but Carlos, you can explain what I could have done.
Yeah, right there, it's a really tough situation. Like he's saying, it's a 50-50. If he's Scarf, then he has a few things he can do, and if he's not Scarf, then it makes a lot of sense to stay in an Icicle Crash. But looking at where he is at this point in the match, he's up 5-3. Uh, Ice Shard, like, although you don't want to sack Weavile there and only do 50% or whatever it is that it does, you're going to be sacking it anyways to Scarf, and getting off that damage is just crucial either way. And if he isn't Scarf, I feel like he'd just either sack Sableye or something like that. At that point, it's just a hard decision there. But going for Ice Shard, it seems like it ends up being the best play in hindsight. It's hard to justify why he should have done it during the match. But I guess you could just think he knows Ice Shard is going to do half or a little bit more, and then Slowbro could come in, take the hit, and go for Scald. And I guess you could explain a bit why you didn't go into Slowbro at all versus Tantrum early on.
So, for some reason, I didn't think Slowbro would take it because Amoonguts is my physical. I put Max's HP and physical defense, and I didn't really touch Slowbro's physical defense. But in hindsight, when looking at their base stats, Slowbro can still take more hits than Amoonguts can physically. Actually, I think in both sides, maybe not special, but definitely in physical. Head Smash only did 60%, so yeah, probably should have. Probably should, yeah, probably should have just went Slowbro. Should have Ice Sharded and then eventually kill it with Slowbro later, and didn't have to force a tough situation that would be in later. Anyway, Dragon Tail it out, bring back the Tyrantrum. I'm fine sacking a Flygon because now I know since he's Scarfed, he's going to lock himself in the Dragon Claw, which means that he's not using the optimal move, so I'll force another switch. I'm fine with that. Going to Slowbro, in hindsight, shouldn't have gone into Slowbro. I should have went into, actually, that's a misplay. I should have went into Raikou. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because that Raikou, it sort of just wins right there, doesn't it?
Well, no, not necessarily, because he sacks Sableye.
Or at least picks up a kill at the very least.
Yeah, because the only thing. Okay, Raikou kills Sableye, whatever. Tyrantrum comes in. Who would I switch into? Amoonguss and just sack it off?
Yeah, probably a sack.
And then no, I don't think no. I think the slower was the right move because um okay, so Sakamungus, whatever. Switch into Slowbro, and then he would switch out into Manaphy, and then Manaphy sets up on me, kills him, and then I would kill it with Raikou, but then Tyrantrum outspeeds me. So that was actually the correct play. Never mind. I played pretty optimally, except for turn 30. I should have surfed instead of toxic. That was really dumb. Because I mean, it didn't really matter because it doesn't kill the Sableye, but I get toxic, which in the end didn't matter again because um it's okay. So ending into this, it's Hail Glows, Psyshock. Crit didn't matter because Raikou is going to kill it next turn anyway. So he has to stay in because I'm pretty sure Rockstone were going to kill him. Just Volt switch out. That was the optimal play because I needed because so here's what I thought now. I'm like, okay, he can't switch out. If he does, whatever, doesn't matter. I have to kill it, switch out. Volt switch is perfect. Go back into Amoonguss. I need to take this hit because I calced it. Head Smash does 70 to 90, 75 to 90-ish, somewhere around there. Now that with the Regenerator, I'm at near 100. And then I can Spore it and then pray. Pray for a 2-turn, like a more than 2-turn sleep. So I switch out, go into Raikou. He's asleep. And then he's asleep again. So I won the game. Really close and really tough to tell where the misplays begin and end. Really, really close game. I would say the closest match of the week so far. So if you have any thoughts about it, you can just talk.
Yeah, I definitely think Zone played very well in this match. To get the 2-0, it got to the point where if he woke up, he won. And yeah, to be able to do that, it shows that he played very well. I love the Sableye trick set against the Marowak that neutralized Marowak and made it just a sack later on. So that was great play. I guess maybe it was a misplay getting the position where Victini was pursuit trapped, but it's hard to predict that. Maybe he just needs to realize that pursuits could be coming and go for V create early on. And but overall, I think he played really well. He didn't make any huge misplays that were anything but 50-50s, and definitely think going forward there's not a whole lot I'd ask him to improve on. Just his team was definitely really offensive, and maybe that ended up hurting him. It's hard to tell. Neither team had a lot of switch-ins sort of towards the end with Tyrantrum putting in the work, and then Weavile really threatened Zone's team. So maybe it was a bit of prep, maybe his little play, but I feel like he overall had a really great match.
Definitely. And I think yeah, and that's really to sum it up is this game was a game of 50-50s. Pretty much almost every single turn was a 50-50, and Weavile just being the king of 50-50s. That's like you need to be able to play 50-50s, and then also playing with an offensive team, you need to also play with those 50-50s. Not much stalling went into this game. 37 turns is, it's slightly above average. But that's just because there were just so many different predictions that were happening, and it really could have gone either way. If you flip some 50-50s around, and if I went for knockoff instead of pursuit, that could have turned the whole game around. And really every single 50-50 affected the match, and it's really, really tough to say what's the optimal way to play this game. And I feel that both Zone and I, you know, aside the 50-50s, like we both played fairly optimally. We each had like, one or two kind of smaller mistakes, but I feel like we both played really well. And in my opinion, the set of the week really really got my heart pounding for a bit there. So
Yeah.
I was a little nervous, but it's fine. Game of Pokemon decided to grace me with those 2 sleep turns because that was my goal in the end. I had to rely on luck because that Tyrantrum was really scary and kind of destroyed my entire team. So I'll keep that in mind next time when I prep for him.
Remember, Slowbro is really, really, really bulky.
Yeah, and I will remember. I will not underestimate Slow Rose bulk next time either, because for some reason I just mentally wrote it off. So nothing. Yeah, whatever. It was
Yeah,
a really
it's
close
week
game.
one. It's week one of a new league with a new team. Still getting used to the Pokemon, so I mean it happens.
And I think both Zona and I really showed a really good showcase of both of our teams.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely some unique sets that turned out really well. Love the Dragon Tail Flygon. Flygon in general. It was used in a supportish role this
hmm
match, and it worked out really well.
Yeah,
And
I'm really
then
happy with Flygon.
yeah, Flygon is it's been underestimated with there's just so many dragon types and just so many new Pokemon. It's just under the radar there. Just very solid mon. And on zone side, like we said before, the Tyrantrum set was amazing, and that Sableye trick really neutralized Marowak. And yeah, some cool sets this game and a really close competitive match.
And Amoonguss putting in the work too,
Oh yeah.
kind of that clear smog, kind of neutralizing the superior, neutralizing another threat of one of many threats on Zone's team. So really close match, really entertaining too. So hope you guys enjoyed it, and see you guys next time. Peace.